because it may be days away, but we are already keeping a very close eye on our next winter storm that looks to move in sometime during the day, mostly around the evening, Sunday night and into Monday morning. So we're going to go through the very latest, what we know, what we'll fine tune over the next several days, and most importantly, what it means for you come Sunday night. So we'll go through the forecast. You can post any questions you may have in the comments. We'll go through some of them at the end of this and hopefully answer any questions you may have. But I will start off by saying there are still a lot of questions in this forecast. We're still talking about a storm that is days away, the storm that hasn't even formed yet. So there is going to be a lot of uncertainty at this point, but we do want to break down what we know so far. Really starting today, there was increasing likelihood for this high impact winter storm, and it does look like it will be a high impact winter storm, not just for us here in the DMV, but really most of the East Coast. We are looking at a really big, powerful storm with a lot of moisture, a lot of energy, and a lot of wind. So what does that mean for us a little bit closer to home? It will not be a clean-cut snowstorm like we've seen so far this winter. So far, we've seen pretty steady snow events, but this looks a little bit messier. Looks like we're going to start off as snow, and then for some, mix in sleet and rain. That will impact our snowfall totals, who sees how much snow, and the timing of it as well. And that all depends on the track. A little wiggle in either direction, if the storm shifts west or east, will really dictate what we can expect in terms of impact here. So I do want to start off with radar, a wide view at the entire country, because again, this storm not going to form for several days. It's really not until Saturday when this storm will start to take shape in the southeast before it moves up the east coast and closer to the mid-Atlantic by sometime on Sunday. Now, most of our models are trending towards a Sunday evening event, pulling away early on Monday morning. So the timing of this kind of is working in our favor. The worst of the weather will be while you're sleeping Sunday night and early Monday morning. And Monday is a holiday for a lot of folks, so hopefully there won't be a lot of people on the road come Monday morning, because I do think it's going to be quite messy. So let's talk about some of the scenarios that we could see come into play as we head towards the weekend. If we see a track where the center of the storm goes to the east of DC, that would be a snowier outcome for most of the DMV. Some significant snow likely. If the storm tracks really right over DC, that would start off as some snow for DC, mixing over to sleet and rain, with more of a snow event for areas to the north and west, and a little bit more of a rain event for areas to the south and east. Now, if we see the center of this storm pass to the west of DC, which some of our models are showing, that would be more of a sleet and rain scenario. But we will still start off as some snow. There's a lot of agreement in that. So we'll keep a close eye on the potential track of the storm, because then we can really fine-tune the impacts where you live. So I do want to take you through a couple of our models. We're going to start off with the European model, and then we'll show you the American model. You hear us talk about these models all the time because they're two pretty reliable models. And in terms of which has been more reliable this winter, they're pretty even. The American model was doing really well at the beginning of winter, kind of petered off over the past several weeks, and the European model's been a little bit bullish, I think. But we're going to start off with the European model, mostly to show you the potential impacts and the timing. Here we are Sunday morning. Mainly cloudy start to the day. I think most of Sunday is fine. The daylight hours, just cloudy. It's not until later in the evening whenever this model brings the first flakes into DC. This is right around 5 p.m. and you can see it does start as snow for just about everyone. A little bit closer to the beaches, farther to the east, we could start off as a little bit of a mix with some sleet or light rain, but I do think it's cold enough that we see snow at the start of this. And you'll hear us talk a lot about a wiggle to the west or east, because if we do see it pull a little bit farther to the west, we'll get some warmer air moving in. That will increase that snow rain line and move it a little bit farther to the north. But this is 10 p.m. Notice, still cold enough that we have snow from DC down through central northern Virginia, most of Maryland, before that rain snow line continues to creep to the north overnight. This is 2 a.m. That's when we start to introduce some of that sleet and rain. But notice it is still snowing for northern and western Maryland, portions of northern Virginia. This outcome would produce a lot of snow, but snowfall totals are going to be really difficult with this storm for a number of reasons. We'll see a lot of melting at the onset, not a ton because temperatures will be in the 20s on Saturday, but I do still think we'll see some melting whenever the snow starts to fall, and then you flip it over to sleet and rain. That's going to melt and compress the snow that does fall. So here we are right around 8 o'clock Monday morning. The storm's starting to pull away, but I do still think we'll still have some precipitation out there early Monday morning. Nothing like what we'll see through the overnight hours, though. So let's talk about the American model, the GFS model, and this model in particular brings the storm in a little bit earlier. This is 2 p.m. and you can see, starting to see a little wintry weather, some snow, maybe some sleet. This track pulls a little bit farther to the west. This is 7 p.m. Sunday night. You can see really raining through most of D.C. and for areas south and east with a snow event to the north and west. This is right around 11 p.m. and it is pouring through parts of D.C. There is a lot of moisture with this storm, so that's something we'll have to keep a close eye on, especially depending upon the track. That could bruise more snow or, like this model, showing more rain. But also notice the wind. We're going to see some pretty significant wind come Sunday night into Monday morning as well. This is 8 a.m. The GFS flies this storm out of here with most of the wet weather out of the way by early Monday morning. So here's a look at the snowfall potential, and there is a big difference between the models. You can see the GFS showing right around maybe 3 to 6 inches of snow in D.C., but then you head farther to the west where we are all snow and some significant accumulation possible out towards the mountains. 2 feet? That seems like a little bit much, but it's something that a bunch of our models are showing. The European models still on board for that heavy burst of snow, and this model in particular bringing much more snow to D.C. But again, the snowfall total is going to be really difficult with this storm because of some melting at the onset, and then you get the mixing with sleet and rain. But regardless, it does look like a really big mess. So I'm going to start us off back to our headlines so people maybe just tuning in can get a look at that. And I'm going to look at some of your questions and hopefully answer any of them. But again, I cannot stress enough, this is not a question of not knowing the forecast. It's just that there's still too much in play. It is too far out from the event to know exactly what is going to happen. But we do think it is going to be a high impact winter weather event. And for some people, especially for areas south and east of D.C., that very well might just be rain and wind, but still a high impact situation. So we'll look at some of these questions here. And they've already started. Save me some milk. If you were watching the news between 5 and 6:30 this morning, you saw we were already talking about stores not having a whole lot on the shelves for other issues. So you do want to stock up over the next several days, especially if you are in an area that could see more of a snow event. But it's always best just to be prepared. Rosie said anything for North Carolina. I do think parts of North Carolina will see a little bit of snow out of this, but mostly a rain event there, especially given the timing it will impact earlier on the day on Sunday when temperatures are still warmer. John, you are so welcome for the update. Thank you for your kind words. David says bring in warmer temperatures. That is something to talk about. The next couple of days look really nice. I know we're talking about winter weather already, but tomorrow and Friday both look really nice with temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. Good bit of sunshine as well, especially for Friday. Tomorrow I do think is mainly cloudy. A lot of questions about how much snow you can expect in your neighborhood. And again, it's just too soon. I'm not comfortable putting out a snowfall map at this point because there's so much in play, but we will show you again what some of the models are putting out. And I do think they're both a little bit aggressive because keep in mind, what you'll see here once we get to the European and the GFS snowfall forecast, that is assuming that every snowflake that falls accumulates. So there might be a whole lot of moisture in this storm, but we're going to see some melting. We'll see some compressing, especially if we see sleet on top of this rain. So we'll see if we can't get you back to that model there. Let's see. A lot of questions about specific towns. And guys, of course, it's Wednesday. We're going to continue to do these updates every day leading up to the storm on Sunday. So we'll continue to give you the very latest data as we get it in. But this is what we know right now. So keep clicking through here. Again, GFS model showing more of a rain event, a little less snow. And there you can have it. You can try and find your neighborhood on the map there and get an idea of what you might expect. But again, these are just forecast outputs. This is not our forecast by any means. We are not going to see that much snow. Ava says we're going to see it here in Connecticut on Saturday. A lot of my Connecticut folks jealous that we've had so much snow here in D.C. since I moved. So who knows? Maybe I flipped the pattern here and I did bring the snow down to D.C. with us. Chris says I need sleddable snow in Rockville and Frederick. You have a better bet in Frederick. Better bet at some snow where we might not see as much mixing with sleet and rain. A lot of snow questions, guys. All right, I'm going to continue to sort through some of these questions and I'll answer as many of them as I can in the comments. If you go back and watch it, you think of something, feel free to post it in the comments below. I will get back to as many of you as possible. But again, remember, we're going to be doing these updates from now all the way until the storm on Sunday and into Monday morning. We will continue to bring you the very latest information as we get it in. No need to panic quite yet. Just prepare ahead of the storm.